Brilliance Audio presents A Time to Scatter Stones by Lawrence Block, performed by the author. This one's for Bill Schaefer. The four of us, Kristen and Mick, Elaine and I, stood on the stoop of their brownstone for the ritual round of hugs. Mick and I settled for a manly hand clasp. "Safe home," he said. It was a crisp Sunday night late in September, the sky free of clouds, and if we'd been in the country we would have seen stars. But there's always too much ambient light in the city for stargazing, and I suspect that's also true metaphorically. Ambient light, softening the darkness even as it prevents our seeing the stars. Mick and Kristen's house stands on West 74th Street between Columbus and Amsterdam. It's on the south side of the street, so when we reached the sidewalk we turned to our right and walked the half-block to Columbus Avenue, which magically becomes 9th Avenue when it crosses 60th Street. Under either name, the thoroughfare is southbound, and there's a bus that would drop us right across the street from our apartment. It was pulling away as we neared the corner. Elaine said, "What do you want to do? Flag a taxi? Call a Via?" Via is like Uber, except with shared rides and correspondingly lower prices. "Whatever you want," I said. "How's your knee?" We'd walked up earlier. The Ballous lived just under a mile from us, and in good weather we both prefer to cover that distance on foot, but my right knee had ached on the way. "It's okay now," I reported. On the way up, it stopped bothering me around the time we crossed 72nd. "You feel like walking?" "I wouldn't mind, but what if your knee decides to act up on the other side of 72nd? I said something about crossing that bridge when we came to it, and she said I meant crossing that street, and we walked along chatting like an old married couple, which in fact we had somehow become. We'd gone a few blocks with no complaint from my knee and had lapsed into a companionable silence. I broke it to say, "When she served raspberry tart for dessert, I got the feeling you were going to talk about your group." "You picked that up?" "I almost did, and then I didn't." "What stopped you?" "Oh, the conversation took a turn." She fell silent, then broke the silence to say, "No, that's not what it was. I decided the conversation would take a turn if I broached the subject, and it was a turn I didn't want it to take." I nodded, and she said it was a beautiful night and she was glad we'd decided to walk. I agreed with her, and we crossed another street, and my knee begged to differ. You get old and things hurt, and then they don't, and then they do again. She said, "I guess I decided to keep it private." "That's fair enough. I could have talked about it without breaking anybody's anonymity but my own. And my misspent youth is nothing Mick and Kristen aren't aware of. But the tarts, I don't know." "You don't have to overthink it," I said. "It's how you felt." "Your knee's bothering you, isn't it? Let's get a cab." I shook my head. "It's not that bad, and as close as we are." "I married a stubborn man." "You knew that going in," I said, "and I think persistent is a better word than stubborn. It's less judgmental." "I was already cutting you some slack with stubborn," she said. "The first word that came to me was pig-headed, but I decided that really would be too judgmental." "We're almost home," I said. "See how easy that was?" "Judgmental or not, you can't say it was inaccurate." "You're cute when you're judgmental," I said. "Is that a fact? And we are almost home, and the first thing you're going to do is elevate that leg, and I'll fetch an ice pack. Deal?" "Deal," I said. I've been sober a while. I'd marked 35 years in November, as I mentioned at a meeting a day or two after the actual anniversary date. Whenever any...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?